Welcome, one and all, to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our review of the Party of the Summer, Summerslam. I am your King of Extreme, Phil KOE, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, one handsome man if I do say so myself. Folks, you can of course find me at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter, and I am joined this evening by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
the quadruple distilled, non-chill filtered, blend master of ceremonies himself, Tony fucking G. And tonight I cement myself as the GOAT Supreme because, unlike one John Cena, I retained at SummerSlam on my 17th reign.
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. So what was the final score for the folks?
It was it wasn't a run over by any means. It was pretty close. I think we were tied 4-4 or 5-5 heading into the cage match. I think it was 4-4 heading into the cage match. And the outcome of that sealed it for me. It was I think it was 5-4 was our score out of 12 matches. So it wasn't, I don't know. It was, They tried to do some different things with some of these outcomes, I felt like, and hit and miss, if I'm going to be honest. So we're going to go over it.
All right. But yeah, before we get into the minutia, we do kind of have to address the big mammoth in the room, the vanilla gorilla, if you will.
We'll get to the breakdown, but yeah, big return.
Big return. Now, Tony, to his credit, actually knew it was going to happen before he even saw it.
I did. So, yeah.
I mean,
weird.
Tony, almost has psychic powers when it comes to WWE television. So, yeah, it just totally tracks.
I wish that was the case because I'll be frank. I was on a delay tonight watching the show, and I may have had the final moments ruined by one Phil KOE. And last night I was way behind. I didn't start until late, so I got to see most of the results before I watched it, which took a lot of the shine off of it for me, not gonna lie. So this probably wasn't as special for me as it was for the people in the building or the people watching both nights live. But yeah, there were things I liked, and there was some things I really did not like, and we're gonna go over it. So yeah.
Well, let's start off with, I can't believe I'm saying this, night one of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, I'm going to be honest with you. There were a few matches I skipped over, and
I don't blame you.
We'll get into which ones those are.
There are matches I wish I'd skipped over.
You'll be able to pick up a pattern. But anyhow,
we're gonna start at the top of the night one card, and
Roman and Jay.
Yeah, Roman and Jay against Braun and Bronson with Paul Heyman in a tag match. Now, there were a lot of tag team matches on both nights overall, and this was probably the best one. So I'm glad they started the show with this. It felt big to have Roman Reigns there. This was really good. I really liked this. The intensity was there throughout the whole thing. I'm not the biggest Jey Uso fan in the world, but fuck me, the energy that he gets pumping out of a crowd is undeniable. Even got even got him to start the music back up before the match started. So I don't know. The match itself, though, very hard hitting. It went back and forth. I loved everything about Braun Breaker in this one. Bronson Reed's a hell of a presence too. Jey Uso wasn't over the top, just doing his dick. So Roman Reigns really, to his credit, reined that in, no pun intended. And I think this was probably one of the best match of both nights, if I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to give it 4 stars.
Okay. I'm going to be a little more reserved because you're right. Roman's like, all right, Jay, you're working with actual main event guys now.
Yeah.
A main event guy and another future main eventer in Braun Breaker. But it's like, all right, bring it in. Act like you belong here, fool. Okay, you could tell there was a little bit of that. But the one thing that I wasn't the biggest fan of in this match was sort of like Oprah with a card. You get a spear, and you get a spear,
Yes.
and you get a spear. Everybody gets a spear. Like
Jay
that
should
was.
not be doing the spear, Jay. And you saw it at the end of this. He's not good at it, and it looks ridiculous.
Oh, anybody doing the spear next to Braun Breaker has to feel silly. Like Roman Reigns should almost retire the spear as a finish because Braun Breaker does it so much better. And yeah, it'll probably add a few years to Roman's career to just change his finish to the Superman punch eventually. So,
Yeah,
but
no, I agree. It's Braun does the spear so well, and he's the best one at it right now, hands down. And
it makes Jay's weak little. It's sort of like, I can't believe it's not butter. It's I can't believe it's not spear.
yeah, it definitely wasn't. This one went 21 minutes overall, and I actually had Braun and Bronson winning this, so I was a little surprised when Roman and Jay got the W on this one. But it made sense knowing what we knew by the end of the night why they didn't have to get the win. So good match. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was probably I might say this was one of my favorite matches the whole weekend. I don't know if it was the best one of the night, but I could be persuaded. I know it wasn't your absolute favorite. But
yeah, sure. It was, don't get me wrong, great match, and it sets up, when it comes to Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns, I want to see more, not less.
Hell yes. Absolutely.
And I want to see the two of them one-on-one one last time. So
absolutely.
But all right, so we move on. My rating, I would give that 3.5.
Okay, fair enough.
It was good, but 3.5. All right, what's the next match, sir?
So strangely enough, they went to another tag match. Raquel and Roxanne defending the women's tag championships against Charlotte and Alexa, whom I actually like this odd couple pairing. It gives both of these women something to do since they're not in a title picture, like a world title picture, and they both have held multiple world titles. So I actually like the oddball pairing. It's a contrast of styles because as opponents, they were okay, but they never really meshed perfectly. As a tag team, I think they were so much better because it's such a study in contrast. And Alexa Bliss is always going to be a fan favorite, and she's somehow bringing Charlotte back around the way of being somewhat popular with the pairing. So I like the chemistry here. And Raquel and Roxanne, like Roxanne's okay in my opinion. Raquel's pretty good. It's just this, I don't know. They've never really done it for me. So I was happy to see Charlotte and Alexa get the W on this one and win the tag championships.
Thank God. I mean, this will really get some great attention on the women's tag team division. Let me tell you. I didn't watch.
Yeah,
this is a match I skipped.
I figured it was because that would be something you would do. But yeah, who's going to draw more attention to the women's tag team championships that they essentially forget about? Oh my God, look, they're going to do something with it with 2 former world champions in Charlotte and Alexa. Oh, wow, they're actually trying, which is exactly what your gripe was. But yeah, go ahead. Complain about it.
Well, sure, if they gave them actually an interesting story or something compelling, but it's
That's
not.
what
It's
they're
just a
trying to do here.
Prize
That's
for
exactly
people in the
what they're
women's
trying to
division
do
that they
with
don't
this.
know what to do with. And so
they're trying to do something with it because they were doing nothing with it because Raquel and Roxanne was just a stand-in.
I'll put it this way. If on Raw and SmackDown this can start to draw my attention, I will say I was proven wrong. But thus far, the women's
You'd have to watch Raw or SmackDown first, Phil.
Hey, actually, no. Since it came on to Netflix, it's actually real easy to watch Raw.
We're not being paid by Netflix, so
actually, we're not. We don't. Nobody pays us nothing for nothing. Are you kidding me? That's how you know our opinions are unvarnished. So, anywho, moving.
I really liked the match overall. I'm going to give it 3 stars because there were minimal spots where I felt like, oh, they could have done that better, and I actually really liked the finish. There was a tease and dissension with a little bit of friendly fire from Alexa to Charlotte, and the camera work was really well done towards the end, and they were like, oh, is she gonna say fuck this and just boot Alexa in the face? Nope. So it worked. I liked it. I actually enjoyed this one.
Alrighty. Well, moving right along to a match I did see.
You skipped Charlotte and Alexa winning the tag titles, but you sat down for that Karrion Kross match. Okay.
I was busy throughout the night. Got a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. So this was well, okay. I'll put it this way: I was standing in the living room while this match happened.
Okay, there you go. So Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross with Scarlett. There was a stipulation of stupidity. You've got to admit you're right, or I've got to admit you're right.
Like, Tony, I mean, those are some high stakes, bro. You want to increase the drama, increase the stakes. Now, the thing that was really dramatic was the will he, won't he, when Scarlett gave him the pipe.
Yeah, and he didn't.
And he didn't. Now, I will give credit. This is the first time I maybe have seen, like, at least in years, but maybe ever have seen the haluva kick actually win a match.
True. That's a good point.
Like, I've seen him hit it a lot. I've seen him do a lot with it, but that's usually the 2 count.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Kevin Owens has got to finish it up for him. So
that
is
a very good point.
So now I got to give credit. Apparently the haluva kick is a lot more effective than the Cody Cutter or the Attitude Adjustment.
We'll get there. Yeah, no shit, right?
Like, I mean,
we
bro,
protect the haluva kick more than
one and done, bro. Champ. I mean, it's like that's the modern Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, Sami gets the win in a match that will go down in infamy for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, Tony, when we're talking about match of the year,
10 seconds of it.
When we're talking about match of the year this year, I'm gonna bring up this match.
And somehow the next match was even shorter, coming in at 7 minutes.
I gave that match about 3 stars.
I think I gave it 2.5, but I digress.
Ouch.
Tiffany Stratton defending against Jade Cargill, the women's championship. I will say this. I think this was probably Jade Cargill's best solo outing on a big stage, because at no point did I feel like, oh, this is going to go sideways. And then it went sideways. And at no point did it surprise me by going sideways. I think overall she's, on the last few big matches she's had, she's kind of settled down a bit and kind of grasped the, the aura of what she's trying to get through and trying to do. So I think that speaks volumes here, because Tiffany Stratton's not like a grizzled vet by any means. And this was a bit of a gamble putting these two out here in this atmosphere. So I'll give both women credit. This was decent enough. And surprisingly to me, Tiffany Stratton did successfully defeat Jade and retain the title. I really thought they were going to pull the trigger on Jade.
Perfect. Full disclosure here. This one I came into towards the end of the match. Teething baby. I get to pull that move for at least another month. But I basically came in when Stratton went for the prettiest moonsault and she ate boot from Cargill, and I was like, okay. And like you said, this is about as good as I've seen Cargill on a big stage. WrestleMania. Basically, anytime I've seen her on the biggest stage, it's a little clunky. She gets her entrance just right, okay? Yeah. But when you get between them ropes, you can tell it's a little, like, the first few times she was kind of like, whoa, this is a lot bigger than the 600 people I was performing in front of Tony Khan for. But now, like you said, she's not ready for the main event, but with a little bit more refinement, I think she could actually get there.
Yeah, I think that's why they ultimately did not pull the trigger. I'm going to give this one 2.75. I enjoyed it. It felt short, in comparison to some of the other matches that were supposed to have actual stakes. And this one actually this was the shortest official match, I think, of the weekend. The shortest match.
There's a reason for that. They didn't want to overexpose Jade.
Well,
to
and
be
that's
frank.
fine, but I get that. But
And
if that's the concern, why even set yourself up for
it's
this
kind of a
gamble?
dead spot match. You know, people have been sitting there long enough. They need to go to the restroom. They need to. So
They did that on the
WWE.
previous match. When they saw Sami Zayn carrying Cross, they went to the bathroom after Scarlett made the entrance.
Oh, Tony, no.
Yes, they did.
There were people that were holding up signs that said, "I paid money to see Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross."
So yeah, no,
I
this
think
one.
sometime
was
when we
fine.
go to a live event, we need to do something like that. Like, I paid money to see the third match on the card. But now we move onward, upward, and
This was the third tag match of the night. Holy crap!
let's call it that. Yeah,
Sure,
tag.
let's call it that.
Let's tag exhibition.
Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul against Randy Orton, and yeah, I'm not kidding, Jelly Roll. What the fuck? Okay,
here's the funniest thing. Of all the people that were in that match, okay, the people who would have most looked like a professional wrestler in the 1980s were Jelly Roll and Drew McIntyre. And Logan Paul and Randy Orton would have looked out of place as professional wrestlers in their day. Now, Randy Orton and Logan Paul is what you think of when you think of professional wrestler, and not Jelly Roll or Drew McIntyre. So now, but yeah, Jelly Roll would have fit in any territory back in the 80s. Okay, I'm not saying by his work rate, but just by his look. Okay, but let me tell you, T. Jelly Roll's just stupendous grappling ability.
This was heavy on the Jelly Roll. Okay, I've bought dozens of donuts that had less jelly filling in them. Okay, this was a lot of Jelly Roll. Right, like
we did not need this much Jelly Roll, but no, my favorite
this had so much Jelly Roll. I think I'm diabetic now. Holy shit!
Oh, my favorite part was when he did a wrist lock, turned it into a hammer lock, went for a back drop, and then turned it into a slam, and then picked him right up for a suplex, got on the top rope, went for a shooting star. I was just loving his amazing technical abilities.
Yeah, he did some of the most basic shit you've ever seen, and it was embarrassing to have to watch Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre pretend like he was getting the better of them. It was...
That had to be rough for you.
It was, just because I'm a fan of both guys so much, and this guy... Here's the thing, he lost a bunch of weight recently. So, like, bad timing, because had he had all that extra weight, this maybe would have made sense. Like, why he's physically imposing against these guys. Now, he's not at all.
Okay, I didn't know that part, because, like, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Jelly Roll nor his music.
Oh, so, yeah, he had like another 100 pounds.
There's a bit of a Will Sasso effect here.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. Yeah, this one was...
Kudos to Randy Orton for doing everything he could with this, and I gotta tell you, like, Drew McIntyre healed it up, hammed it up as much as he could without making himself look like an idiot. And Logan Paul, just brilliant. The guy's just amazing. At this point, if you can't at least admit that Logan Paul is entertaining as fuck, you just stop. Just stop watching, because you clearly don't get it. This guy is just awesome. The frog splash off the top, kicking the primes back as he did it sideways through the announce table. God, it's just visually stunning. And it actually looks like it should look when something like that happens. It doesn't look like every run-of-the-mill outlaw indie mud show dickweed doing it every fucking night in a gymnasium. This is what it's supposed to look like. And it's tremendous. But Logan Paul has just such a asshole presence. It's so great. And when Drew's being smug, it looked great. Randy's carrying it, and there's Jelly Roll. And they fucking looked at Jelly Roll after the big splash at the table for about 5 minutes while 10 people carried him out. And then he decided to do the Mick Foley, I'm going back in. And he got back in. And then he hulked up, and then he lost. So it was a fucking joke all the way around. I'm going to give it 2 stars. And that's being generous.
I'll give it 2.25.
There you go.
But because again, Logan, like you said, Logan's actually learned how to carry a match. This is kind of one of his broom handle moments because with Jelly Roll, you are wrestling a broom handle. I was just like, wow. So this is
this thing went for 17 minutes.
This was Randy being Logan's sensei. Basically, like, all right, just this is how you carry this kid. All right. So, all right. Well, moving onward and upward to the match of the night, in my opinion.
Okay. CM Punk and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, okay. Second best match of the evening. We'll get there in a minute.
All right. So, this one was good. It was long. It was really long, and I kind of expected that. 30 minutes, and Gunther is just visually intriguing because it doesn't matter what he does. Visually, you're looking at him, and you can't wait to see what it is he's going to do next. Even if it's the most boring hammerlock you've ever seen, you still want to see it because he's got a way of doing things, and it's elite level, just aura that surrounds him. So I love that about him. And CM Punk's one of the all-time greats. You saw it here, and we kind of talked about this yesterday amongst ourselves, but he's playing the grizzled vet pretty well, but you're also seeing he's definitely the grizzled vet. Like, and he was here. There was a lot of spots where you're like, man, he doesn't have the steam behind this. And there were some spots where you're like, oh, I think he's gassed. Oh shit, he's really, really gassed. But this was really well done psychologically, which is always going to be the case with a Punk or Gunther match. And it was back and forth in the right ways. It was logical when Punk would get on offense, and it made perfect sense when Gunther would take back over. The psychological aspect of it, of Gunther taking control towards the end and then falling on his face on the announce table, busted open, and now he's wounded. And now Punk's got a way to capitalize, and Gunther's got an out, and it all made sense. And Punk ended up getting the go to sleep and gets the win. This was really good. What did you like about this one?
I liked how they basically treated the chop like it was a deadly weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
chop,
like, so
for God's sake,
yeah, Punk was avoiding that chop, and like the psychology of the first few minutes of the match was just avoiding the chop.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it finally hit, it was sad. And Gunther knew when he hit that chop, I better make this one so they can hear it in the back row. Sorry, Punk's pectoral muscles. Chop. And it was, like you said, it was technical, mat based. There wasn't a lot of jumping off the top rope, none of that. I wonder how much of the, it looks like Punk's missing a step. How much was that him trying to do the I'm the gristled veteran thing, the Terry Funk, which Punk's like, I know it's going to sound weird. He's still a little too young to do that. Like, I know he thinks he's an old man, but like, he's still a little young for that. Like, put another 5 years on him and then he can do the Terry Funk. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Punk looked to me like, all right, if he hadn't walked away from wrestling for 10 years, he would be in worse shape than Shinsuke Nakamura when he comes down to the ring, where he just looks like he's got several injuries that are hurting and he's like very uncomfortable inside his own body. If Punk hadn't have taken those 10 years, he'd have been way worse off than that. Okay. So
that's probably true.
We might be doing his last SummerSlam tonight, if that was the case. But no, we got Punk. Tony, in the Cinderella moment, Punk finally wins the World Heavyweight Championship. It's there on his shoulder. He's finally tasted that championship gold, and oh, it's glorious. Oh, it's wonderful. And then burn it down. Oh, I was like, no.
So yeah,
no.
Rollins comes out with Heyman. Heyman's got the case, but Rollins is on crutches. So they're like, "Oh, you've got the belt, but we'll be waiting." And he turns around to leave, and then he ditches the crutches, ditches the knee pad, takes off the jacket, runs to the ring. They instantly get into it. Punk goes for a go to sleep. Rollins counters, starts beating him with the briefcase. He does the cash in, hits the stomp. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins is your new
Match of the
World
night.
Heavyweight Champion.
That
was your match of the night.
The match of the night. Seth Rollins versus CM. But no, okay, all right. In terms of my personal reaction, yeah, match of the night. Now, in terms of work rate, it was Punk versus Gunther. So either way, Punk was in the match of the night. It was so. But that one was like, so Seth freaking Rollins found a way to do it again.
So this made sense why they did not have Braun and Bronson win the opening match now, because Seth Rollins is not shelved. He's now your champion, so we can have that loss, and it's okay. So this made sense after the fact. I wish I would have seen it coming, but I kind of felt like they overplayed the injury thing a little bit. I mean, it was a weird way to do it, which made it feel more genuine and real. And I felt like there was some real stakes to it. I liked that, but at the same time, something felt off too. So, and wow, LA Knight got a win against Seth Rollins, and yeah, it really catapulted him to not even be on the fucking 2-night card. Yeah.
I mean, gotta respect that catapulting. So he's got a W over the current world heavyweight champion. I'm sure, he won't bring that up in a promo.
Yeah, no, of course not. So that was night one. I don't know. I thought night one was pretty good overall. I didn't really hate anything on this show except for I didn't hate the tag match at Jelly Roll. It just wasn't for me, and it was really long.
I just hate the fact that it was 2 nights.
There's that, because now we're gonna get into tonight. Night number 2, folks. Here we go. Wow. This thing started with the triple threat for the Women's World Championship. Naomi defending against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. This didn't have the magic that the one for WrestleMania did with Bianca instead of Naomi, because that was probably the best women's match of the year, hands down. This was it was good. It was really good, I thought, surprisingly. Naomi actually looked, I would say, the strongest out of everybody in this match. And she, for the first third of it, really dominated both of them until they kind of came together and said, okay, we got to quell the threat. They double teamed her, and then it turned into a one-on-one with somebody laying around. And that's what I kind of expected it to be all along anyway, but this wasn't bad. And I said this on the preview prediction show yesterday, Phil. It's going to look like Rhea's going to get that pin over Io, and then all of a sudden Naomi's going to come in and steal the win away. And
just like I was telling you, T. Naomi's going to steal that win away.
She did not pin Io, though. So
like
I told
you,
wrong.
That's exactly what I said. Just how I said it was going to happen, T.
And as expected, Jesse says Facebook is burying this. No notification. Went to the page, didn't show it. Had to click the live logo and finally. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Like Facebook, every time we're going live now.
Yeah, they just don't seem to care. Facebook hates us.
Thanks, Twitter.
Please. I know. Yeah, Twitter's doing us good, but make sure you give it a share. Yeah, do, folks. But yeah,
shizzle.
Yeah. But because years ago, this was the SummerSlam and WrestleMania were the biggest nights for Facebook.
Oh yeah.
For Big Bucket Empire, and lately it's almost like Mark Zuckerberg, the nerd tactician, has decided that we are verboten. But anywho, folks, that's why you need to share, subscribe to this stream, because the powers that be are trying to prevent you from getting the sweet, soft summer sounds that are my voice, and also the analysis of one Tony G. Esquire. But now, Tony, this is a match I didn't see. I
had a feeling. There's a trend in the matches that you missed, Phil. I don't know what it might be.
Yeah, we'll figure
pinpoint
it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But so what did you give this match?
I'm going to give it a solid 3. I could go 3-2-5 because I did enjoy it. It was a good opener. Got the crowd into things, and problem was what followed. Yeah. Ugh.
So now what followed was an amazing
A fucking disaster.
What? What do you mean, T?
So here's the deal. We're old enough that like we were there for the OG TLC SummerSlam matches, Phil. This was not that.
Oh, what do you mean, Tony?
Well, there was no chemistry, there was no story, and the spots sucked.
But Tony, whoa, Tony. This TLC match had a run-in appearance by a superstar power of Candice LeRae.
Who took the best bump of the match?
I mean, Tony, with star power like that.
So this was fucking ridiculous. The Wyatt Six defended a WWE Tag Team titles against Andrade and Phoenix, DIY, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits in a fucking 6-way TLC match. Good God.
So the Wyatt Six retain. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, Tony. Sorry, I was looking at but yeah, the Wyatt Six is sort of like, okay, that's nice. But yeah, other than Gargano and Ciampa, there really wasn't any star power in this match. So I wanted them to win because, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Now, in terms of the match, I'm going to be more generous on Tony. I'm going to give it 3.25. Which not bad, but Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy take him and Rey Fenix, and Gracie grabs the titles for the win.
So this was dumb. Look, they tried to tell a story here, and there wasn't a story to be told. It was just a bunch of random people thrown together doing spots, and this is what these matches have come to. It's like they feel compelled to have these matches for the sake of having them, instead of having a match that can only be the match that a great story culminates to. They're having a match and scrambling to find people to do the match just for the sake of doing the match. And this is what you get. And like there were some, like, I love Montez Ford. Huge fan of Montez Ford. I don't hate Rey Fenix. Ciampa's usually good. Love the Machine Guns. Really do. And the Wyatt Six is a fucking just at this point. Can we just stop? Can we please just stop?
This is the first time that the Machine Guns actually, to me, they were just kind of the jobber tag team until tonight. Truth be told.
No, Phil, you have that completely ass backwards. They've been the jobber tag team since tonight, because that's what they were in this match. They were actually champions before this, but I digress. No, that's completely incorrect. This was a fucking joke. I like.
I'm not saying they've never been champion. I'm just saying they've never really. This is the first time that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take another look at them next time I see them wrestling.
Because of this car wreck, because of the few fucking stunts that they did in this piece of shit. Oh wow, it took a lot to convince you, Phil. My gosh, what standards you must have.
Well, I mean, you got 2 nights. You got to find what you can.
This wasn't it. This wasn't fucking it.
What are you giving it as a rating?
Well, the things that I did like was the spot where Andrade and Phoenix used each other for a ladder to try to grab the belts. That would have been a great actual end, because it would have been new and different. Instead, it was a throwaway moment. I liked Ciampa's fucking athleticism when he was hanging from the belts, and instead of eating the spear, the guy does a fucking pull-up and hung upside down for what felt like an eternity, flipped back down, and ended up not falling off at all. It was massively impressive for some fucking core strength from that man. Dear God. I liked the Guns actually tried to do wrestling moves in a wrestling match, allegedly. Montez Ford did an amazing just flip over dive of the turnbuckle to take out some people instead of going through a table. That was a good spot. When the girls got involved, it was fucking stupid for no good reason because you've already got, 6 tag teams in this match. Let's bring 3 girls in too. That makes sense.
Well, Tony,
to
you remember
Candice LeRae's
TLC?
credit, though, she took the bump of the night.
Yeah, in TLC you had Rhino, Little Spike, Dudley.
Yeah, and I hated
Lita.
that part. That was my least favorite part of that match.
I was such a huge fan of Rhino. I was just happy that they found a way to shoehorn him in.
Yeah, well,
Truth be
it was
told.
my least favorite part of that match of one of the classics. I don't know. There were probably a couple other spots I didn't absolutely hate, but a lot of the table spots felt highly forced, and a lot of them didn't land the way they should have landed. So, no, I didn't like this. Overall, I'll give it 2.5. And Yippee Skippy, the Wyatt 6 retains. I don't know. That was just...
Like, that's the
It
weirdest
was
thing.
unnecessary.
Well, yeah, why did you have all these teams if the same folks are just going to retain? Like,
Exactly.
These kind of scramble matches are a great way to get a belt off of a team while keeping them strong.
Exactly. And if you're going to have the champions retain and they're heel champs, you could have done the exact same thing with like 20 less fucking people. So I don't know what they were going for here other than to just have a car crash moment, because you didn't need to have a whole lot of fucking crazy hardcore spots. Here's the thing, Phil. We opened the night with a triple threat match. By default, those are typically no DQ. The next match, the third match, was a no disqualification, no count out last chance match. The fourth match was a cage match. The fifth match was an actual match. And the main event was a street fight. So it's not like we had to shoehorn in a match with a TLC stipulation to get all those hardcore spots in. Yet, we did this anyway.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, I've always thought a better format for a match like that would be like 8-man double elimination tag team match. Where, think about it, like you've got, like, let's say DIY and you've got the Motor City Machine Guns, and both of those teams had one guy eliminated in the match. Now those two have to work together to keep their teams alive in the match. And you as fans get to see, like, there would have been times if this was a match, like we would have been able to see members of the New Day teaming with the Usos just to keep their teams alive. And like, so that's a way better way of doing it. Just multiple teams in a double elimination match. And you don't need a ladder. You don't need stunts. And there's actual psychology, and you get to see teams that you may never, ever get the chance to ever see. And so that's, to me, like, yeah, the TLC match is kind of overdone now at this point. Like, there was a whole pay-per-view for it. Okay? Like, it's, like, to me, it's, we definitely need to reserve it for, like, folks that are like AJ Styles level or above. Okay, it needs to not be. How can we get the young guys over? Put them in a ladder.
This ain't it. Yeah, this ain't it, because nobody got over here.
Yep. But anyway, moving onward and upward to the next match for me, Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa.
That wasn't the next match.
What? Oh, that's right. That's right.
There was another match.
I missed one. I missed one in there.
Wow, it's like you missed 4 matches, and it's like they almost all have something in common. I don't know what it
is. I don't know. It's like, it just like do the Jim Cornette just I just can't. I gotta that, and it was I did have some personal things going on at this point, I do recall.
Well, this is one I'm kind of glad you missed, because we would spend a lot of time shitting on this, because holy God, this wasn't it. Becky Lynch.
Lyra flubbed a lot.
I'll explain. Becky Lynch defending the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Lara Valkyria in a no DQ, no count out match. So I'm going to give them both credit for trying to be innovative in some spots on this one, and almost none of it fucking landed. This sucked. This was bad. I like Becky. I do. She's not the crispest worker. She never has been. But she knows how to make a match feel big. She tried. Yeah, Lyra was okay. That wasn't the problem. The problem was they tried to do so much shit that, and none of it landed. They had double chairs set up and it wouldn't land. There was a big spot here. This was where it really just ripped me out of the fucking match. Becky gets a toolbox from out under the ring, gets some zip strips, some zip ties out of it. Zip ties Lyra's hands together like so. And then they continue to have the match. She beats the shit out of her with whatever, kendo sticks, like hung her up on the ring post with like that. Hit her with a kendo stick. Okay, fine. Then they started doing moves. And at one point, Lyra starts getting offense in while her hands are still zip tied. They land, and the camera could not have been worse. Gets right up on her, and you see her hands go apart. And they stay on her, and you watch her slide her hand back into the zip ties. And then fights for like another 5 minutes with the zip ties that she could clearly escape from anytime she wanted to. So this sucked, and it took you out of it completely. They finally get out of this stupid spot, and then they do a fire extinguisher spot, and it missed pretty big time. Then they tried to do a spot with the steel chair wrapped around Lyra and the announce table, and Becky dropped like double foot stomps the back of it while she's in it. That kind of looked okay. And then she's just laying there, and she grabs a crowbar, and she goes to bash her face in with it. Well, she stood there for a while and waited. Finally, here comes Bailey for no reason and stops her. She's like, Becky, don't. So then they fight, and then Becky's like, okay, you do it, Bailey. So you're trying to now, in the spur of the moment, convince the person who just stopped you from bashing this woman's face in with a crowbar to now bash that woman's face in with a crowbar. So big shock, she didn't do it, and they get into a brawl. And then they brawl, and at this point I was so disinterested with this thing, I didn't care. Bailey continued to kind of be involved, and then she ended up costing Lyra the match. Becky got a big slam, and the 1, 2, 3. It was a mess. It was a fucking mess. I'm gonna give it 2 stars total.
Okay.
It was bad.
All righty. Well,
Went 25 fucking minutes, Bill.
Good God. Okay. All right. So, all right. That explains why I was able to. I had to drop my kiddo off, and so I was like, wow, that took a lot of time.
Yeah.
And then we come to what was actually really good match. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu in the cage.
So, I'll be honest. After that disastrous TLC match and this horrible no DQ match,
you were looking for a palate cleanser.
I was, and I was so taken out of the show. Like, I didn't give this the attention I wish I did, because what I did see and was really truly paying attention to, I did enjoy, but this was heavy on the solo. Like, really heavy on the solo. I'm going to make that my complaint. Like, they tried to make him look way tougher than Jacob Fatu, and we all know that that's not the case. So I don't know why we spent so much time trying to pretend like Solo can just dominate Fatu. I don't get that.
I mean, Fatu hadn't lost since he lost to Roman Reigns in January. So, Solo Sikoa. And so he was on kind of a tear.
Okay.
Now, granted, that could also just mean he just hadn't wrestled much since January, which does seem to be Solo's kind of MO. But this one, what I loved was, okay, Tony, if you could keep the names straight of everyone at ringside throughout this match. We got JC Mateo Tongaloa Tala Tonga. Wait, what? No. All right, this is why unfortunately why creative did kind of make people pick really weird names. At least they're easy to remember. Okay, like it's. But yeah, this one was all right. If the commentators didn't get the names all jumbled at some point, I don't believe you. But there's no way for any of us to know because we were also quite confused.
Yeah, exactly.
So that part was, if it would have just
Tongaloa, Tolatonga, Tamatama, Zip, Skimmity, Blip, Blip, Doo.
Yeah, it started like at one point, like, yeah, it's a lot of difficult to pronounce names quickly. Like, whether you like it or not, like Charlotte Flair. Okay?
Yeah.
That rolls off the tongue quick, even if it's a long name. Okay? Like, it's kind of, I know that sounds like a very strange place to go, but like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, these all roll off the tongue easy, and they also pass the banner test.
There was a
whitest event in WrestleMania.
There was a Whitest Kids You Know sketch where they were making fun of the Saturday Night Live introduction, where they show all of the actors on the show, and at one point it was just the same person with slightly different haircut and a shirt, and the name was just basically the same thing but just mushed up. Mark Markinson, Marky Marks, so Mark Markson, Marky Marky, the Mark. Like, it's the same thing over and over, and that's what the new bloodline is. It's like the same name over and over, and we're just going to reintroduce somebody here every few weeks, and we're supposed to give a shit about this.
It's also kind of like how the 19 kids and counting people would name their kids.
Yeah,
it's like, well, we can't change.
We're in the Michelob Ultra era of the bloodline.
Ooh, no, Tony, we're getting to the NWO B team era, okay? Because there was the NWO, and then there was the NWO. Okay, like there was two different. And it was pretty funny. Eric Bischoff said in a interview just recently, he said, "You know what? Just about every week, Monday night, some new guy would come into the locker room trying to weasel their way into the NWO. Everybody wanted in the NWO at one point, and everybody had an angle that involved the NWO. So that was, T-shirt money. That ain't nothing. But this match, actually, now, Tony, I think I was disappointed. Didn't get the cage dives that I wanted.
Well, you got it towards the end. That's the thing. Jacob Fatu did end up losing this because, of course, he did. This sealed it for me. Yippee Skippy solo win. Jimmy Uso got involved, and he tossed the Loa Longa Toa Tonga Tomas into the ring with Fatu after he'd gone through a grueling cage match, and now he can kick the shit out of two guys. Of course he can. And then he climbed up and dove off, so he got it there. But I don't know. This one didn't land the way I wanted it to. It was okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. This was, I'll be honest, like, why I said, like, now I realize, like, in that moment, I was just dropping off my kid, so I didn't actually see the cage dive. So I will have to check that one out on YouTube right now while you introduce. But other than that, the match, I'm going to give it a respectable 3 stars, despite all the weird cluster frack of everything going on outside the ring.
I'm going to go 2.75. It was okay. The next match I thought was a lot better, just by principle. Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental title against AJ Styles. This was, I thought this was set up well. The story heading into it was good. AJ been vying for this match for a while. Dominic been ducking him. I liked this, and it didn't disappoint. Dominic is a great shit heel. He just is, and he gets it. He gets how to be annoying by just existing, and that is so vital to the role he plays. And it was perfect here too. I thought they worked very well together. It flowed well. AJ could have a good match with anybody, but I thought Dominic pulled his weight.
I love how Dominic is wearing clothing themed after his father, Eddie Guerrero, which
and they made lots of mentions of Eddie in this. It was great.
Now, I just watched the Moonsault. I will say, great on Jacob's part. The two guys there couldn't have been more obviously. All right, you ready? You ready to catch him? Okay, I'm ready to catch you, Jake. I'm ready to catch you, cousin. Yeah. Like, could they not have just like done a little bit of this, maybe?
Nope, just stand there and wait.
Yeah. I mean that was literally Cirque du Soleil, unfortunately, because it really because unfortunately it was a great move by Jacob Fatu, but it buried him at the same time. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think, Tony, the bloodline needs to stop at about 6 people. That's about as much as any professional wrestling stable can handle that the fans can remember readily. Okay, like remember the NWO or the Wolfpack. Okay, everybody can name the Wolfpack, the initial Wolfpack: Kevin Nash, Lex Luger, Sting, Macho Man Randy Savage, Conan. Then when they added 70 more people, nobody remembered the NWO Wolfpack anymore. Okay? But here we are 20 years later, still recalling who was in the NWO Wolfpack. Okay? So that's why I think 5-6 is about the cutoff. All right? Like, it's these guys should have been like brought in as like a rival faction of the family. It would have been more memorable, but here we are. But now we get back into Dominic Mysterio carrying on his father's legacy as best as he can. Just doing lie, cheat, steal, going for frog splashes, not always hitting them though. But yeah, Dominic, I don't know how this kid went from the awkward kid that we were like, what's he even doing in the ring, to, now granted, remember when you, like, this is every man's experience, when they know a woman's touch for the first time, suddenly they get a whole new aura. So apparently, him being in that angle with Rhea Ripley just gave him a whole new life. Okay. You're like, well, no, think about it. Like, I know a lot of people that I knew in high school that, they were little dorks and dweebs. Then they got a girl. They're like, I really can't wait for this. It's going to be a great release. And then they get a girlfriend and like, yeah, let me tell you something. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what happened to Dominic. He had that he had that change. I don't know from where and I don't know from what, but he definitely had that aura switch. And now he's one of the most despised heels of the WWE. He went from the weird little kid to, Tony, name someone on the roster that you would enjoy getting smacked in the face more.
I don't know.
Tony, and The Rock is still on the active roster technically, and you can't say him even. You'd rather see Dominic Mysterio just and that means he's doing his job.
So the match,
Tony, the match smash. Continue, sir.
Okay. Jesus. All right. Like I said, I really like the subtle nods to Eddie in this one. He brings a chair in, smacks the ground, tosses to AJ. AJ looks at the ref before he turns around, puts it on his own head, lays down next to Dominic. Now the ref doesn't know what to do. They did the boot spot like Eddie did with Kurt Angle. Like it was really well done.
Okay,
I liked this.
And yeah, AJ even twitches his foot a little bit with the chair thing, and I'm like, dude. And yeah, so now they're both laying there like, all right, well done. That was too good. AJ twitching his foot, waiting for the ref to turn around. That made me pop. Okay, I'll be honest. I was, yeah, that got a pop out of me. I'm sorry, like that. But Dominic, well, all in all, T, let me ask you something. You've been one of AJ's biggest fans for years. Before he even got to WWE, AJ was your guy. Tonight with Dominic, you can kind of now measure people against how they do against AJ Styles.
Yeah, I thought he did fantastic. He was his own presence. It wasn't like he was being carried. So I think that's the measuring stick for sure.
That's something. When AJ Styles don't have to carry you, the two of you can make sweet, beautiful music together, and that's okay. Because me, maybe it's just we're getting older and we have kids, but yeah, I'm always going to see Dominic is this big, and Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio fighting over him for a contract, and so the fact that he's made these twists and turns in life, if you will, it's really exceptional. But yeah, all in all, this match, well, what do you give it, T?
So like I said, Styles went for the calf crusher. The boot comes loose. Dominic hits Styles with the boot, hits him with the frog splash, gets the pin, retains. I thought it was the right ending. The match went like 10 minutes or so, I think. Yeah, just over 10. It was the right time frame, right placement on the card. Well worked. Yeah, I really liked this. I'm going to give this 3.75.
3.75? Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I'm sorry. I wanted to. It's not a 4-star match. Let's be honest.
No, not quite.
It needs more time. Now, Tony, they had to cut this back and not let it get to 4-star match territory because, thank God, we had Stephanie McMahon come out and
I fast forwarded through that shit
and lie to us about how many people were there.
Yeah, she said there were 60K, so 49.
If you include every single employee and people walking outside on the sidewalk.
And we do.
And then you might get to 40 some K. But yeah, like that, when I love WWE's exaggerated numbers, it's like height back in the Attitude Era. Like God rest his soul, when I went to go see Hulk Hogan live, I was like, dude, he's not that much taller than Tony or my brother. Like that was like, whoa, okay. So yeah, they love exaggerating their numbers, but I was thinking like, oh, of course, we got a big crowd, so Stephanie's like, hang on. Let me smear my face all over this for a minute, okay?
Thank goodness we needed that.
We, in case you guys forgot about us for too long, I just figured, it's kind of like back in the Triple H Reign of Terror era. They needed to just replace a SmackDown fist with the face of Triple H, just in case anybody stopped and didn't think about him for too long. But yeah, so Stephanie gets through her shrill little promo, and then we move along to what we're all here for, folks.
Thank God.
Well, Tony, I could talk more about...
I was hoping you'd bring up more Attitude Era stuff.
Oh, I can, of course. Well, I mean,
tell me again how much you like this year's SummerSlam, Phil.
I mean, all I can do is think about wrestling from years from the halcyon days of yore when we actually used to like it. I was like, I remember Jim Cornette had a great comment when there was COVID going on. They couldn't make new content. It's like, you could just replay the Raw that got 8.2 million viewers. Bet it at least gets you 40% more viewers than you would have normally had in that time slot. Okay, just replay that one. Okay, 1.8 million people a week were watching it now, and they are milking every last one of those marks. Yeah, now Tony, this is almost all back to the Attitude Era because John Cena was sort of the end of the Attitude Era and the beginning of the ruthless aggression era. And I was actually talking with the wife. Like, I'm not sure. Tony and I might have seen John Cena in a house show back before he even had his rapper gimmick. I was trying to think,
maybe.
I remember there was guys like JBL was trying out his new solo gimmick as John Bradshaw later. He was trying all that in the house show, but that was really the best I could think of. Is we might have seen him live once, but I don't think so.
Not that I can recall.
All right, hang on one moment, folks. I have been told that the mic of Extreme needs to be.
No, you're
refreshed.
good now.
Oh, okay. Well, good, because it would be a crime to deprive the people at home of even one soft, sweet summer note of my voice. All right, but we got Ash Perez going with Brock returning. What match do you like best because of the story? One Brock versus Braun with Heyman at Mania 42, or two Brock versus in a big now, all right, first and foremost, because the question of Brock has come up, I kind of need to answer this. I would say the thing that needs to happen is Cena's last match in WWE is against Brock. I think that kind of has to be the case. In Mania,
his next match is going to be. I think that's pretty fucking clear.
At Mania, I would love to see Brock versus Braun. I'd love to, or Brock versus Gunther. Both are solid picks. Brock versus Gunther needs to happen. Again, I think Gunther should probably be Brock's retirement match whenever Brock decides to retire. I think Brock's got several more years in him, but whenever that comes down, Gunther retired Goldberg, he should probably retire Brock too.
I like the idea of Braun Breaker. I think that's the most fitting passing the torch. Gunther retiring Goldberg felt more like a good send-off for that era, not necessarily a passing of the torch moment. That's what this would be, a Braun versus Brock. But yeah, Oba Femi would be interesting. I just don't know that they'll... that'd be a big call-up and an instant, huge upper elite echelon push. So I don't think an Oba Femi is in the cards for Brock. Braun Breaker, however, yeah, he for sure is.
Oh, Braun Breaker is eventually going to beat Brock. Okay,
yeah.
Like Braun's, like Jim Cornette put it this way, and I have to agree with this. Braun Breaker has gotten to that echelon where I don't care what that guy's doing. I want to see it. If I find out that like Braun Breaker or Brock Lesnar or like The Undertaker are sitting on a park bench reading a newspaper, I'm going to go see. Okay, it's like that's just where they're at. And Braun Breaker's just one of those, like, I don't care what he's doing, I want to see it. Now, him spearing ISHO Speed into a different dimension might have had something to do with that.
Yeah, that helped. So, okay, main event, Phil. Let's focus here. Let's get through this.
Have you met me?
Yes, and that's why it's so difficult. So, main event. Okay, John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Okay.
Now, another thing about The Undertaker, though. So the main event, we get Cody Rhodes, adrenaline in my soul, Minute Maid Fruit Punch, Cody Rhodes. He makes his way down to the ring. He's wearing the full skull gear, wearing the Homelander, and he's coming up the elevator. Foreshadowing from later. And it was grandiose, had a dusty promo coming in. Let me tell you just how proud of you I am, fun. And like that was before the music, and beautiful, glorious entrance, makes his way down full Homelander style. And then Tony G, do you want to take this from here, or do you want the King of Extreme to exposit?
Go ahead. I don't want to stop you now. I hope you gas out at some point.
Again, have you met me? All right, let's see if I can gas out on this one. And then we get the return, the true return, not the black screen Cena. We get the true return of the 17 unseen, one and only John Cena. Full on entrance. The crowd is loving it. He's supposed to be a bad guy. They don't care. They have WrestleMania X8 every single one of John Cena's appearances all year long. And so he gets one of the biggest pops, not only of the weekend, but of the last several months. And Cena comes down, glorious champion, Tony G, the 17 unseen John Cena himself. Now, Tony, as from one 17-time champ to another, what was your thoughts on Cena coming into this match?
Well, so they teased the face turn on SmackDown, and they kind of set it up to where, okay, he's turning face. This is it. You're going to get face Cena versus face Cody. And it felt like a ploy. It felt like a setup. Like, okay, obviously it's going to be, he's going to turn on him, and at some point it's going to get dirty, and that's how he'll retain. Or somebody will come and help him. Or they try to do a double turn, and they have Cody win, but turn heel in the process on a Cena that just turned back face. And that's not what we got either way. So what we did get was confirmation that The Rock is single-handedly more poisonous to the WWE than Vince McMahon at his worst.
Oh my God. Okay,
Because,
bro.
Jesus Christ, Phil, I've said this how many times now? 2 years in a row.
I don't know about all that.
No. 2 years in a
I gotta
row.
do the Joe Rogan.
2 years in a row, Phil. Now, the Rock shows up as they're nearing the finish line of what they're trying to do storyline-wise and says, well, yeah, we're just going to scrap all that, and I'm going to insert all of my rock cock into this storyline, and it's all going to be about me, and we're going to focus on that, and I'm going to pretty much turn everybody heel or face, and we're going to do whatever I want. And then I'm not even going to fucking show up the day of, and then you're going to have to fucking canonically explain all my bullshit after the fact. So they had to fucking retcon the heel run because it was such a disaster, and they'd had nothing to gain from it. So they retconned the fucking heel turn at the last minute, and they have a face versus face showdown for the world title.
Now, Tony, again, because it's The Rock, you realize that when you described all that, he would just, well, quote himself from one of his movies, "What can I say? It's okay. You're welcome." Yeah. He would just be like, what? I just added to this storyline. What are you talking about?
It's just proof that, yeah, here, next year for Mania, you watch. The Rock's going to show up, and he's going to just drop a big steaming pile of rock right in the fucking center of it, and it's going to make no sense, and it's going to piss everybody off. I hope cooler heads prevail this time, and we don't make it a three-peat. I really do. But I digress. So here we are. And this match kind of, okay, another fucking no holds barred, no DQ, lazy booking match. But at least this one's the main event with the two big stars for the undisputed world title. This was hands down, leaps and bounds, light years better than their Mania match because that thing sucked. That was awful.
I think it was misunderstood. Okay, it
was misunderstood as the main event. That's what it was, Phil. It was a fucking opening match, and it got stuck as the last match of the entire show. But again, it is what it is because, The Rock handcuffed them. So this was pretty good. It was pretty long. And by pretty long, I mean they wanted to get everything in. And they got everything in. And then they got more in. And then they kept going. I don't have the numbers in front of me
of how many times they each hit their finishers.
Well, I was gonna say I feel like I'm being conservative when I say there were probably 72 AAs and maybe 59 crossroads before the finish. But yeah, this was ridiculous. Like Sami Zayn hit a haluva kick that put his opponent down
one time.
The fucking AA happened at least a dozen times, I think. And Cody had to hit like 8 crossroads in this match. Neither of those moves mean shit now. The crossroads is one of the least protected fucking moves in the business, and it always has been. And it almost always kind of looks like shit, and it really did tonight. The AAs.
Well, he hit it 3 times in a row only to get a 2 count.
Exactly. So I don't know why we insist on doing. This is the thing that's always bothered me about Cody. And thankfully Triple H at least gets in the way of Cody getting in the way of himself a little bit. Cuz he would in AEW he would overbook his matches to a outlandish degree. There would be so much run-in, outside interference, trying to do everything he's ever thought of in a fever dream. Now you get about a quarter of that. And unfortunately, he's got that AEW style still in the back of his mind where he's got to hit his finisher a dozen times, and it doesn't even put the opponent down. So I don't know what we're doing here with this. The Crossroads is a terrible fucking move. Nobody buys it as a finisher. So he should never win a match with it because he never does.
I think eventually what they need to do with Cody, and just think on this, but I think it's the way to go. Randy Orton's going to retire within the next 3 years. Let's be honest here. Okay. He's one shoulder injury away from retirement.
For sure.
And at one point, he's just going to say, I'm done. I think Cody should just take the RKO as his finish.
I
agree.
agree.
Cody cutter is pretty good. And then he could just start hitting that cutter from all kinds of different angles. They can protect the finish for 6 months, so it gives us legitimacy. And then once in a while, he can hit a Cody cutter here and there when he's in a big pay-per-view match. But yeah, just take the RKO as his new finish.
I would be totally fine with that because the Crossroads puts nobody down, and he himself is doing a terrible job protecting it. And at least John Cena's on the way out, so you can kind of understand, all right, fine, he's in the twilight of his career. That's why it's not working. Although he hit like, and I'm not kidding, like he had to hit a dozen of these things. He even hit one off the fucking top rope, and that didn't do it.
That didn't put Cody down.
I don't know. I just it felt so overdone at one point. I'm like, these aren't false finishes. This is just not ending the match to be stubborn. I don't know what we were doing at one point. Chicken actually chimed in. I'm going to read this. That match should have been in 4 months, not tonight. Cody not turning heel or Cena not turning heel didn't make sense with a Cody win. Really, Cena losing only makes sense if he wins it again and the pad the stat, but it's still fucking lame. Brock was busy, so we got Brock, which, okay, that's cool, but why would he come after the loser of the belt? And if Cody is walking up the ramp and a bad guy comes up to beat up the guy he respects so much, what the fuck? Hated the match so much, abomination.
Wow.
And he's not wrong, though. Like, this match was good for a while, and then it got up its own ass because it's a guy on the way out who's a legend, and it's Cody who's a legend in his own mind for a long time. And then, yeah, the finish sees Cody, who's getting booed whenever he's nearing beating Cena, like 5 times over in this match. And he finally gets the win. And I don't know. It felt like he was trying to be respectful, but he looked like a dick while he was trying to be respectful. So I don't know.
This match, now go with me here for a moment. This match reminded me of a certain style of booking. Okay. And that style of booking is when a guy in the main event of a backyard wrestling federation is booking himself against the other guy who's also the booker and the main eventer in a backyard wrestling federation. And strangely enough, both guys tend to hit their finish on each other like 25 to 46 times in a single match. I'm sure you have no experience of that whatsoever.
I never hit it 25 times on you.
Okay, but you know what I mean. You know, like
I get it. It's a brainchild of 2 guys, and you saw it unfold. I get it, but it doesn't make it good, and it got worse the longer it went.
So, how many stars do you give this momentous occasion?
If they would have gone home like 5-8 minutes sooner, I would have gone 3.5. But it just dragged.
When Cody hit the triple crossroads, they probably.
Oh yeah, when that wasn't it.
What was hilarious is I was holding my baby watching the match, and whenever at the end, like when the triple crossroads got kicked out, I'm like, oh my goodness, how could the kick out happen? And he's laughing his little baby head off. And then when the third AA off the middle rope, like, how could this happen? Could Cena possibly kick out? And so that was actually kind of a big deal when I saw that. The third, I thought AA off the middle rope. All right, that's it. 1, 2, 3.
No, here's the funny part, Phil. I knew after the off the top rope. I'm like, nope, that ain't it. I knew the AA after the big leg drop. I'm like, nope, that ain't it. I saw the 3 crossroads hit, and I went, wow, that's not going to be it either. And it wasn't it. I could feel it. I could see it. I could tell it was happening, and it was happening. I'm like,
it's
this
not
is getting
fair
bad.
because you've been watching WWE wrestling since you were like 6. And I'll never forget the one time we were watching some match and Randy Orton had been out on injury for like 8 months. And the camera just takes a certain angle. And Tony goes, Randy's about to hit him with an RKO. And then 8 seconds later, not even just bam, Randy with an RKO. I'm like, bro, first of all, I kind of wanted to enjoy that, but second of all, how did you just like? Well, Tony, it's kind of like you knowing that Brock was coming out of the ring.
Yeah. So yeah.
you
Thanks
just-
for that.
Uh,
So yeah, Cody's champ again, and like Chicken was saying, this I didn't get it. I don't get it. Like there was no heel turn, there was no double turn. They're both still good guys. He just gets the belt back from the guy who turned into a dick to steal the belt from him, and now they're all buddy and respectful again. And Cena's gonna continue his farewell tour. I don't get it.
Didn't he kick him in the balls just about 4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah, so I don't get it. It makes no sense logically. It is what it is, though. So Cody literally leaves and disappears because he had to get away quickly. Because yeah, here out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar makes his return. Again, Dr. Chicken had some input. Well, if Triple H is going to be seen doing stuff with Donald Trump, then why would he give a flying fuck about Brock Lesnar having some bad rap right now? And they just had a huge double night video package to Hulk Hogan. So I think they're kind of on the side of, you know what? Fuck people. They can get the fuck over it. We're going to do what we want.
They're not buying tickets to this place anyways.
There you go.
I mean, like,
So,
as about, well,
I kind of get the sentiment. It's Brock fucking Lesnar, and I'm glad to see him.
well, let's put it this way. The people who are on internet and are into cancel culture, they might get loud online, but do you think the people who are paying $40,000 a pop for ringside seats at WrestleMania, do you think they want to see Brock Lesnar?
Hell
Or
yeah,
no?
they do.
Oh, okay. That's the pull. That's the
There
market
you
gravity. We can talk about the ethics of that at another time, but
Yeah.
that's just the market forces. Okay.
There you
But
go.
whether we like it or not, you don't have to like it. In fact, I'm betting a lot of you don't. And that's just the way that works. Now, T, in regards to SummerSlam overall, we'll get to that in a moment. But what do you grade this match?
Yeah, I'll go like 3. Sorry, it lost me at one point, and it never got back. And like, it doesn't matter what they do, and it doesn't matter what the finish is now because they've already done too much.
4 stars. Moving on to I really enjoyed this match. I gave it. 4
I'm glad
stars.
you did.
I'm
glad you
actually, yeah. I was at the end. It's like, are you not entertained? And now Chicken
Problem
did
was
mention
they did nothing in their first match at WrestleMania, so they tried to make up for it here, and they did too much. Find the happy medium.
they did
And that's
fit
the
2
thing that
matches
pisses me
into
off,
one
'cause
match.
both of these guys know the happy medium. They know where that's at, and neither of them tried to get there. They both wanted to go overboard here. So it did too much.
Okay, yeah, I will give you that. They did try to pack 2 matches into one match.
Yeah.
And so, but this didn't feel like a hat on a hat, though. This just felt like these guys were really hitting like.
It did after I watched TLC and no holds barred women's matches and a cage match. Like, come on. It was too much.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, Tony, because of the whole weekend of content, there's a lot of people that the only matches they saw was CM Punk versus Gunther and Cody versus John Cena.
Yeah, and if that's all you saw, yeah, I guess in that regard, it'd feel a lot bigger. Yeah.
Yes, and Tony, most people aren't wrestling nerds that dedicate their entire weekend to like.
I barely did.
Well, I know, neither did I. Like we have lives. Okay, like yesterday I was doing back to school shopping. Okay, like I had things to do, and so yeah, there was a few matches I had to watch a wee bit late, and so yeah, a few of them got skipped over. But just a few, Tony.
Just the women's.
Like just a few, a handful of
Just some
matches.
specific types of matches. Weird.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, what can I say? You got to be
I
efficient.
like
with
how
your tempo.
judgmental Tiffany Stratton looks while you say that on the background.
Just harumph. But well, T, overall, SummerSlam as an event, 2-night event, I'm gonna have to give it no more than 3 stars.
I'm gonna give it a C plus.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna grade on letters.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Part of me wants to go B minus, but really a B minus is just a dumbed up C plus. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a C actually because this for a 2-night event, this really didn't blow me away. It's not making me like Tony. Next year's SummerSlam's gotta be 2 nights.
Of course, yeah.
And like I was joking with my wife because she really likes football, and I was like, I'm really hoping, like, even I don't want the NFL to get wind of this because they will try to make the Super Bowl 2 nights.
Okay, stop trying to will that into existence.
The first half of the game, and then just a solid day of stupid commercialized band performances all day into the next day until they kick off the second half of the game. And if you true football lovers are like, well, they can't do that. They can't split up a game like that. I mean, it would only bring in billions of more dollars. Why would they do that?
No, it wouldn't. Anyway.
Tony, if they somehow figured out a way to make $1 billion off of 2 nights of WrestleMania, I mean, come on.
Well, it's a scripted event with a bunch of different people doing different things throughout. It's not 2 teams that have to finish the game within a regulated amount of time. Otherwise, why are we even doing this? Nobody's going to carve their weekend around to watch a half of a game on one day and then watch another half. It's never going to happen. Stop trying to will this.
Okay. Yeah, no,
it's not going to happen in your fucking lifetime.
I don't want this to happen, but it's going to.
You do, though, because you think it'll make you so good at predicting things, and it's not going to happen. Stop it.
Oh man, you're gonna hate me when they do this.
No, I'm not, because it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna hate you for predicting it for some stupid reason.
Well, I just see the money on the table, and so do they.
There's way better ways of making money than doing that, because you're gonna drive off fans. And that's what you're doing here, and we've proven this, because we couldn't. Had this been one night and you took like 3 matches off and like 3 of the tag teams out of the TLC match and removed some of the dumb stipulations and a lot of the fucking backfill, this would have been a good one night SummerSlam. But instead we got 2 nights of extra filler shit.
And you're right, if they would have done it in one night, they should have opened with Cena and Cody and closed with Gunther Punk and then the Seth cash in. We would be like talking about how this is one of the best WWE pay-per-views they've done in a long time, but they're just exhausting you. Okay, like you can't do 2-night events twice a year. No. Okay, like it's like
no need.
And so that's why I think our current format on SummerSlam of we will predict everything before the weekend and get to it after. Like, I'm sorry, like that's almost our protest. We are protesting anything but WrestleMania 2 nights. And now what I do think is going to be interesting is at some point in the future, we're going to have an opportunity to see a pretty good WrestleMania here for one night. And I'm going to try to at least get us nosebleed tickets for that, because what's going to happen eventually is night 1 of WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi Arabia. And night 2 will be here stateside. Get ready for it. That's coming within the next 5 years. Okay.
Oh yeah, if they're doing 2-night manias, there's no reason they won't do 2 cities.
Yeah, and
in fact, doing 1 city is actually kind of
dumb,
stupid from a business standpoint.
Because you're
exhausting the market.
Yes, but they're trying to milk as much money out of the same marks as they can. They're not trying to
spread the wealth around on the marks, and you'll get more return. I think it's ridiculous. Especially if you're doing it in the New York, New Jersey area. You could have easily done 2 locations within the same
nobody in the pro wrestling boardroom other than Triple H and The Rock know any of this, Tony. Okay, they're all corporate bean counters that only see the numbers. Okay, they don't actually see what's under the numbers. They don't see the syntax between them that make the numbers actually connect. Okay, and that's the unfortunate reality of why you're seeing $40,000. Like Vince McMahon himself would have never even allowed that. If somebody would have suggested that to him, that ringside tickets at WrestleMania need to be $40,000 a piece, he probably would have just started hitting that person with a stick. Okay, like it was just like, why are you even saying this? Like, you're gonna, like, you realize that my paying audience is working class people mostly.
Yeah.
Okay, like you do realize that. Yeah, I'm flabbergasted and gobsmacked as to where we are now as an industry in terms of 2-night events. Like, I remember that was kind of the breaking point for a lot of people about whether they're going to go to Mania or not. Oh, goodness gracious, 2 nights.
Yeah.
Because, like, when we went to Royal Rumble, night 1 was NXT. We got a ticket to it, but guess what? It was way cheaper.
Yeah.
It was sort of like a bonus.
Yeah.
And then we got to get our main course of the Royal Rumble the next night. But yeah, this 2 nights, like, when are they going to make the Royal Rumble 2 nights?
Yeah, that's
night 1's the women's
unfortunately,
Rumble.
yeah, that would make sense.
Stop.
I hate it, and it's way too close to WrestleMania, but at least that would make some sense. I think you spread them out, like we've talked about this. One of them should be on SummerSlam anyway, but I digress. We can have that conversation again.
Well, I mean,
time.
The only thing I will say is I think they need to bring back the Evolution pay-per-view, and they need to hot shot it every year. Put the women's TLC match, the Royal Rumble match, the Elimination Chamber match, as many of those big matches as you can, overload it and hot shot it. So it becomes a big deal at once a year. Okay? Like that's my, like, because, yeah, if you knew all these big matches and all these big determinants were going to be determined on one card, we'd watch it. Yeah. We'd be right there for it. Okay. But so, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our review of the party of the summer, SummerSlam. I am your King of Extreme, Phil KOE, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes it the podcast coward. You can, of course, find me at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as right here at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Folks, I am signing off, and I am handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partner. God bless every last one of you. Can't wait to see you right back here, happy, healthy, much the wiser. Tony G, take it away.
Well, folks, that was our recap of this year's SummerSlam 2025. Had its ups, had its downs. We've got a few events left for WWE. We've got Clash in Paris, end of August, it looks like. Crown Jewel coming up again in Australia in October. And Survivor Series late November. So we've got a few more WWE events coming up. Let's hope they're all solo nights. But with that being said, he's Phil KOE, I'm Tony G, and we will catch you on the next one, folks. Thanks for watching.
And see if it just smooths itself out.
Back, tell you what I'll do if I ever get back. I promise to refabricate you, raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost, we gotta take it down. Let you down slow, it's hard to survive. El Dorado. Oh, Lord. Well, let's see how that one went.
Yeah.